Et salut tout le monde, c'est PS69, on se retrouve pour la suite de notre aventure sur What Remains of Edith Finch. On s'était laissé la dernière fois dans la chambre de Barbara après avoir vu ce qui s'était passé ou non. Est-ce que c'est vraiment vrai ou pas, on sait pas vraiment. Elle a peut-être été tuée par un fan, peut-être qu'il était amoureux ou elle l'a repoussé et puis il se serait vengé en la tuant. C'est pas vraiment. Je pense qu'il faut retourner en arrière et retourner dans le passage qu'on a
I guess
débloqué.
now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Et pourquoi en fait bloquer l'accès depuis, enfin bloquer l'accès du sous-sol. Je sais pas, c'est bizarre.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Dragon.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
Pourquoi elle appelle pas simplement grand-mère en fait?
I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Par contre on voit rien. Hein.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If
Là,
there's a pattern in all these stories,
il y a de la bouffe là.
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Ah, Walter vivait ici en fait. « 1952-2005. »
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
Je sais pas ce qu'il bouffe. Des
And then
abricots?
one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
J'aime bien les abricots.
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years.
Depuis 30 ans.
I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can. I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Okay.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Ah non, c'est des pêches. Oh, pêche abricot.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Je veux qu'elle saute.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
C'est quoi? C'était... Tout ce que c'est derrière là.
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
C'est bien fait écraser du coup. Hein.
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family.
Elle est enceinte?
And the history you're a part of.
Je pense qu'elle est enceinte.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Je fais mêler énormément de sentiments, franchement.
Look at the house. Had that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness. Any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault.
J'arrive pas à voir les dates. Christopher, c'était le poisson rouge, je crois.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Avec le chat. Elvin bat pour l'espace. Sven et Eddie. Apparemment Eddie adorait la lecture. Sven bat bricoler, c'est lui qui a fait les passages secrets. Walter. Je sais pas pourquoi ça. Barbara, c'était une star. Mais Walter, peut-être parce qu'il vivait dans une grotte et... Enfin, en bas, je sais pas trop.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Il y a vraiment une maison là comme ça enfouie. Attendez, on doit...
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Sam parce qu'apparemment il s'était engagé dans l'armée, Grégory bah... C'est pas... Et Gus, je sais pas. Milton. Il y a... Un stylo, je dirais. Un pinceau. Sanjay Kumar. Merci.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Lewis. Attendez. Donc Edith Milton. Lewis. Ah, Lewis et Milton, c'est probablement ses frères. Ses frères.
We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
Sanjay, du coup, c'est son père, j'ai l'impression. Et elle, c'est Dawn. Et ses frères, c'était Gus et Grégory.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
On est
But
là
looking
où
back on it now,
on était avec en forme de chat, là où on a sauté pour attraper l'oiseau.
if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Ah voilà. Ça de 22 semaines. Je sais pas combien de temps il faut pour accoucher. Je sais pas c'est combien de semaines.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
Après 22 semaines, là bon. Si en fait on voit une petite boule. 22 semaines, donc 4 x 4, 16, 16, 20. Donc elle est enceinte de 5 mois et demi. À peu près, hein, c'est approximatif.
They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Non, 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 non. Pas tout de suite.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Ok. Ticket d'avion.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Smile, Dawn. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are. Hey!
That's a keeper.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn.
Attendez, Ah, je comprends pas. Bien ça que je dois prendre, non? Une chaussette peut-être? Un closeau? Je serre au-dessus? C'était ça.
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of it.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn!
Ouf.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Dawn, just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad! Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Mais du coup, on n'a pas vu par rapport à Eddie.
After
On a
Sam
raté.
died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Grégory. C'est celui qui avait 1 an, je crois, c'est ça. Ouais, regardez. Grégory, Down et... Bus.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Ouais, mais on contrôle le canard. Oh, c'est marrant.
Time's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like.
J'ai peur de ce qui est arrivé au petit. Ah.
It reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw. It sure made him happy. I know how silly it sounds. But I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure it's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Ok, on la voit pas comme elle fait pas vraiment partie de la famille. C'est comme Sven, on le voit pas vraiment. Mehdi par contre, je pense qu'on l'a raté. Là c'est de là où on vient. Grégory.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Je vais faire quoi? Ah, ok.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Ah, ok, ça va.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
J'aimerais dire. On parle plus là.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Il avait une crête. Non, il y a un mur d'escalade.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Ah, bien qu'on puisse retourner en arrière en fait pour retourner dans la chambre
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my
Rudy.
dad, Sanjay. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Ok, j'ai l'école à la maison. Pourquoi il n'y a que 2 bureaux?
But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
On n'a pas vu du coup. On n'a pas vu sa mère du coup.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings. Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Oui, je veux bien... Dites. Ah, ok.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
En 4 ans quand il a disparu, se dire attends. Donc en 2003, il avait 11 ans. C'est parti. Elle l'a peine connue alors Milton. C'est pour ça qu'il y a 2 bureaux en fait.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Donc... Ah, il y a en haut là. Ok. J'ai pas d'oublier quelque chose.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself.
Après, on a peut-être pas vraiment raté Eddie, hein.
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Parce qu'on a commencé par Molly. Elle est morte en 47. Ensuite, on a fait, on a vu Odin vite fait, je crois. On a vu Calvin. Pas tout à fait dans l'ordre, non. On a vu Barbara après Calvin. Mais ça se trouve, c'est suivant la mort, donc techniquement, on a peut-être pas raté Eddie vu qu'elle est morte en 2010. On va peut-être la voir bientôt. Ça fait bizarre de parler de mort et tout.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room. Except Louis.
C'est 88-2010, donc il avait 22 ans. Il vivait dans un bateau. Stylé. J'ai du parfum maintenant ici. Ah, il avait une chicha. Pas une narguilé.
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Oh. C'était pas vrai.
He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to
Je vais commencer, ouais.
wander. I asked him to describe it.
Ouais, alors attendez, on doit
He
faire
said
les
he
potions en même
started
temps.
small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads.
C'est pas évident. Ah,
And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss, but he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her.
On va essayer de traiter
Silver
médiéval.
harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. but he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me.
Une grande porte avec une petite portail. Oula. Du retour à la réalité. Je pense savoir comment il est mort.
He began to forget the world we know.
Oh, c'est tellement déprimant.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico that insisted on advising him.
Calico.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There's only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
C'est en quelque sorte suicidé quoi. Bref, les amis, si vous avez aimé l'épisode, mettez un petit pouce bleu, petit commentaire. J'aime bien savoir vos avis sur tout ça aussi par rapport à le premier épisode. Je vais tourner la suite directement aussi. J'espère que l'épisode vous aura plu. Je vous dis à la prochaine. Des bisous, ciao ciao.